Hey guys, it's the Middleweight 5, welcome back to more Mega Man 5. Last time, Proto Man appears to be trying to destroy the world with 8 robot masters of his own and has kidnapped Dr. Light, and we took down 3 of those robot masters. This time, we're gonna continue taking down those robot masters. We got the gyro attack from defeating Gyro Man, and it is the weakness of... Crystal Man! Crystal Man has a very annoying stage for one major reason. But first off, we have these enemies. You can kill these enemies in 2 ways. You can destroy the head, or you can destroy the body. It's better to destroy the head, because if you destroy the body, then the head will start bouncing all over the place, and it's quite tricky to avoid. Yeah, and you have these enemies. They're very easy to take out, but for some reason I've been having trouble destroying those ones on the stairs. This guy is very easy to kill the head because of the altitude you drop at, but this is the main reason why this stage sucks so much. You have these crystals that drop from the ceiling. If those hit you, you're dead, because the knockback will send you into the pit. It's very much like those annoying enemies from Mega Man 4. So, the reason why so many people go after Starman first, well, part of the reason, is because you can use the Star Crash to completely avoid all threats that this challenge will present you. Of course, you have to use it every time you get hit with a crystal, but it's better than frickin' dying. And then, there. Managed to get through that without using too much weapon energy. And Eddie, what are you gonna give me? An extra life, yes! In my test playthrough of all the Robot Master stages, every time Eddie showed up, he gave me an extra life. It was ridiculous. Alright then, we got these guys as well. These guys charge up a crystal shot and they fire it. When they're charging up the crystal, they are invincible. You gotta wait till after they fire it, but they can go down in 1 hit with the Mega Buster as long as it's fully charged. Unfortunately though, they are not affected by the gravity hold. And that kinda leads to one thing, basically the biggest thing I hear about what people say that Mega Man 5 is the worst one, is that a lot of people say that all the weapons in this game suck. Well, I do agree that I don't think Mega Man 5's weapon selection is as good as a lot of the other games. There are quite a few weapons in this game that do suck or have very situational uses. But there are some that I feel are honestly kind of underrated. Like I said last time, I really like the gyro attack, because it's really strong, it's really good for taking out really tough enemies. While Gravity Hold obviously doesn't work on all enemies, there are still some instances where I find a lot of good use out of it. And, like, even Star Crash, outside of that bit with all the frickin', like, with all the crystals, sorry, there's still situations where I do find it quite helpful, which you shall see later. Anyway, we got the shield enemies, and that one usually just off-screens itself. And that one off-screen it. Whew. These guys also do not go down in 1 hit from the Mega Buster, but anyway, this part's a bit oh, wait a minute, I'm thinking later on. The letter for this stage is very tricky to get. It's quite easy to miss, so I thought it was going to be there because you gotta get it during a falling down section, but I'm getting confused here. So, if we use Rush Coil here, and interestingly enough, Rush Coil is a bit different in this game. Instead, the coil is on Rush's feet rather than on his back. It's the only time in the entire series this is done. I don't know why. Anyway, we got a new type of tank here. This is a mystery tank. What these do is, normally they refill all of Mega Man's health and weapon energy for every single weapon. But if your health and all your weapon energy is completely full, it will turn all small enemies on the stage into lives. And if there are no small enemies, you get 1 extra life. It's pretty cool! Unfortunately, you can only carry 1 of them at a time, but still, save them for very desperate situations. Anyway, this is the section I was talking about. Gotta go straight to the left here. Yes! Got it! That is the 5. And we also got these enemies that look a bit like traffic cones to me. When you're standing on the same sort of level as them, they will go down and start moving around like that. And, oh god, that's annoying placement. But again, 1 fully charged Mega Buster shot will kill him. Anyway, this guy. Even though the gyro attack is the weakness of Crystal Man, I don't know why it's the weakness, but I'm gonna use it here just because it takes these guys out really fast. There, like 3 hits from that, and it goes down. Look how few weapon energy I used on it. Okay. Crystal Man, even with his weakness, I find a bit tricky, so I might die here. But luckily, Gyrotech doesn't use much weapon energy. He starts off the attack by jumping in the air, and then he shoots all of these crystal balls that bounce around the place. And I'm not doing so good at this. And then after that, he will fire just these regular shots around the place. And wow, that went much easier than it did in the test playthrough. Yeah, that's pretty much all he does. He shoots those small crystal balls that bounce around the place, and he fires those shots. There's quite a long time interval before he uses the crystal attack again. You got Crystal Eye. This shoots a large crystal ball, and if it hits a wall or any other sort of, like, you know, part of the level itself that isn't an enemy, it will sort of break into a bunch of smaller crystal balls that bounce around the place. And the only real issue with this weapon, I have found use for it myself, but the only real issue with this weapon is that it suffers from the same sort of syndrome as the Gemini laser from Mega Man 3, where after you fire it, and when obviously all the little balls are bounced around the place, you can't fire another one, which sucks. But anyway, this weapon is the weakness of, personally, my favorite Robot Master in this game. Napalm Man! I don't know why, I just really like Napalm Man's design. But anyway, Napalm Man's stage is very interesting because, while this has not been confirmed, it's very strongly believed that this stage is based on Vietnam during the Vietnam War. Because, well, for one, it's in a jungle setting, and there's also tigers, which are very fucking annoying because they are fucking relentless when they go after you. But luckily, they give you health right there. It's like they knew you were gonna have trouble with these things. So that... just die! I hate fighting those things. But yes, a large part of this stage takes place underground. And using all my knowledge from when I had to do history about the Cold War, which included Vietnam in secondary school, a large sort of tactic used by the Viet Cong in the Vietnam War. By the way, you just need to destroy these things with like one charge shot again. A major tactic used by the Viet Cong during the Vietnam War is they made these vast underground tunnel systems that they use as bases, which even had things like beds and hospitals in them and all that. So it's referencing that as well. You can just walk through this wall here and get in that energy tank. And they also included a lot of traps throughout the war to sort of... They didn't have the same military power as the Okay, back here. What I was saying was the Viet Cong didn't have the same military power as America, so instead they used stealth tactics and guerrilla warfare to sort of clear up that gap. And they got these really annoying Sniper Joe enemies in these helicopters, and I hate fighting those damn things as well. But, yeah, so they set up a lot of traps, like spike pits and shit, as you kind of saw at the beginning of the stage, and those spikes next to where the tigers were. Yeah! The reason why I kind of know all this, other than just because of what I learned in history class, is because Gaijin Goomba made a video about the stage where he said why Mega Man 5 is banned in Vietnam, and that always confused me because I honestly have never heard of any games sort of ever being released in Vietnam. Not that that seems totally out of the question. I know games get released in Korea, but that's always interested me, and I never really heard anyone else say that this game got banned in Vietnam, but I did a bit of research, and this is just what it says on the Mega Man Wiki. It says that, it's just a rumor. Like, it was never actually confirmed that this game was, like, not released in Vietnam because of the stage, even though the stage seems very obviously inspired by the war. Hell, Napalm Man himself is actually very reminiscent of what happened during the war, and this is gonna go into a little bit of gruesome detail, so I kind of apologize for that, but, Napalm, I had never heard of napalm when I first played this game, and I just learned years later. It's a chemical substance that was used in bombs during the Vietnamese War by the Americans, and it's a substance that it sticks to stuff and then sets itself on fire. This was used a lot by Americans to drop on villages that they thought the Viet Cong were hiding in. Yeah, it didn't lead to some... It led to some very unpleasant imagery, I'll just say that. Yeah. Anyway, there's a rock that comes right from there. You gotta be careful with that. And now, obviously, this part was basically just in an American base because you can see tanks in the background. Anyway, you got those enemies as well. You're kidding me. You shoot those balls up, and then they explode on contact. There's different variations of those enemies we'll see in other stages, but I'm a bit nervous now. This is basically the final stretch of the stage. Alright then, this is the last one. I know there's not one that comes out of that last jump, and there's the door. Whew. I'm fully expecting to die to Napalm Man here, so yeah, I'll just try and do it Buster only here. Napalm Man's main form of attack is that he fires missiles from his head. If you get close to him, he'll shoot those bombs out of his arms, and they will explode when they touch the ground. And then, yeah, I was kind of screwed there. I got stuck in a corner there. That's a good way to sort of, like, deal with him, Buster Only, is just make him sort of use that attack over and over again. But anyway, I was never really sure why Crystal Eye was the weakness of Napalm Man, but after doing a bit of research, I found out why. Because, to sound like a nerd here, crystalline substances have been shown to neutralize the effects of napalm. So yeah, that's a bit interesting. Okay, round 2. It's better to hit him with the big crystal, because that actually does more damage as well. Should have mentioned that. Now I gotta just wait for these to bounce around the damn place. Yeah, shit. Okay, let's see if we can just keep him using this attack over and over again, because that's the best way to fight him. Let's do this. Yes! There, okay. One other thing I should mention about Napalm, this isn't anything to do with the Vietnam War this time. This interesting fact about Napalm Man is that he appears in the opening of the Ruby Spears cartoon, but he never appeared in an episode itself, which is a bit weird. Anyway, following along with the American weapons, we get Napalm Bomb. This is just that bomb attack uses. It shoots them out along the ground, and it explodes. It's a pretty strong weapon, and it has a lot of ammo, but this is one of the ones I find very situational, just because it has such limited sort of range, as it's very short, and it's also just on the ground. Yeah. Anyway, this is a weakness that I actually kind of understand the reasoning behind, because it is the weakness of Stone Man. Now taking on the left side column, which we never got to do before, we got Stone Man. His stage is really weird. The main enemies you see in this stage are these Mets, but when you kill them, they turn into smaller Mets. I have no idea what that has to do with Stone. After a while, these smaller Mets will explode as well. Not the same sort of explosion effect that you saw with the napalm bombs, but still. Yeah. Anyway, this stage probably has the most elusive out of all the letters. Like, I have no idea how they were expecting you to find this one. This is one I often miss as well. But, yeah, I believe it's very... Yes, it's this room. You see this wall here? You can destroy these rocks, slide through, and there's the G. What the hell? And I guess G for Gaia or something? That's the only thing I can reason I can think why he was in that stage. We had the N in Napalm Man stage, which is very fitting. But, alright then, shit. There. Okay, but I guess, continuing on with what I was just saying about Napalm Man, the Ruby Spears cartoon, it's another, I guess, a little interesting fact about Mega Man 5 when it comes to that cartoon, is that on top of Napalm Man never appearing in the show itself, despite appearing in the opening, the only Robot Master from this game that appears in the entire show in general is Gravity Man. I mean, I've never really sort of actively watched the show. I just seen bits of it, just out of curiosity. It's a pretty goddamn cheesy show, because there's this one scene where, just to kind of just give you explanation in case you don't really know much about the show, is that Proto Man is evil, like, all the time in the show. Like, he's always working for Wily and stuff. But there's, like, a bit where, like, Mega Man is pretending to be evil to get on their side and sort of deceive them, be a bit like a double agent. And then Proto Man's about to sort of like shoot the statue of Abraham Lincoln in Washington, D.C. And then he's like, Mega Man's like, oh no, he's gonna blast President Lincoln! So then he jumps in the way of the blast to save the damn statue, and it's super freaking cheesy and shit. But yeah. I think the only real episode of that show that I really watched is, fittingly enough, the one that actually has Napalm Man in it. But, okay, moving on. I find some parts of the stage quite annoying, though. We got the return of these damn enemies. Take forever to freaking kill, because they take forever to move out their damn shields. They also love using these enemies, these flying enemies that got little propellers on the side. I don't know why, they just do. And, come on. Damn it. No! Shit. That was weak. I don't like this part of the stage, okay? I might have to use, actually, does gravity hold, I don't remember if gravity hold works on these guys. Okay, it does, thank God. That's a situation where I find gravity hold helpful. Because when you're just getting swarmed by tons of enemies over and over again. Oh, come on! Really? I think these cannon guys are also susceptible to gravity hold, but only when they have their shields up. Just like their shields just give them so much weight or something that they're not affected by zero gravity. Okay. There. Now we can move on. I think we're getting close to the end of the stage. Okay, yeah, I remember this bit being near the end. You gotta... I believe... You gotta use rush coil or something up there. It's like at the very top of the screen to get this life. Yes, okay. And let's see, I've got 6 lives. Okay, it's a bit tricky to tell if it's a 6 or an 8 because there's like a tiny pixel difference. This gravity hold is also going to be useful here. Goodbye. And goodbye again. Once more. There, okay, this bit, I've got a bit of memories of this one as well. You got an energy tank up there. You can get that if you time the jump off that top platform just right. But what I like to do is, because I'm not very good at doing that, is just use Rush Jet. Then you can also use Rush Jet to get back. If you mess up and don't die from the bottomless pit, you can go back to the green one that you see in the corner there, and it will just respawn the other ones. And whoo, that was a bit tricky. Eddie, oh thank God. Another extra life. Oh my God, wait a minute. This wall looks a bit different. Oh, you can destroy this as well. I don't remember this. Oh, you get extra stuff here. I don't remember this. Okay. I guess that's a little extra tip. Does it make Eddie respawn? No, it doesn't. I was kind of hoping so. I didn't think it would, but still. Now I believe this is the final stretch of the stage at this point. I got more of the Mets here. I don't think gravity hold works on Mets when they got their helmets down. I've never actually tried gravity hold on Mets just in general either, so... Okay, take these things out. I noticed they got 2 different colored versions of these damn enemies in the stage, but it doesn't mean any difference. Okay, I can use gravity hold for that. Die! Oh, I went right through it! Okay, yeah, this is the last part of the stage. And take you out. And take care of those Mets. And here we go. Try to deal with Stone Man. Stone Man's pretty easy without his weakness. I just use Napalm Bomb here because it's faster. Also, I always thought the Napalm... I know it's such a random thing, but I always thought the Napalm Bombs look kind of like peanuts. It's so stupid. At the beginning of the fight, Stone Man creates these 2 rocks just fly out of the place. Whenever he jumps really high in the air like that, he's gonna basically disassemble himself, and he's somehow invincible during that period. I don't know why. He just is. Anyway, yeah, any smaller jumps that he does, he won't be affected. He does create a shockwave when he touches the... Fucking stop doing that! He does create a shockwave when he does the big jump, though. So just watch out for that. Whew. Oh, come on, really? I think you can press B. No, you can't. Okay, I'm thinking I thought you could press B, like, after firing Napalm Bomb. Just stop doing that! That's the one thing I don't like about Stone Man. It's not because there's, like, any challenge or anything. It's just because he does that a lot of the time. It just makes it hard to avoid. Oh, he actually used that attack again. I've very rarely seen him do it outside of the beginning. Please don't tell me I'm gonna have to use an energy tank on Stone Man. Okay. Okay, now I got the pattern down. There! Jeez, I used up almost all the weapon energy on that! The power of peanuts strikes! Also, another thing I really want to mention about this game, is just I never got a good chance to, is that I really like the Weapon Get music. I mean, it's not as good as Mega Man 3's, but I find it really catchy. You got Power Stone! This weapon is awful. I'll just say around, this weapon is terrible. what it does is, you know how he created those floating rocks at the beginning and they sort of spun out like that? It's like that, but worse. What it does is, it shoots 3 rocks that sort of swirl around in this sort of like weird pattern, but the way it moves makes it almost impossible for the rocks to hit what you want them to, unless like you're standing right next to it. And it makes fighting the Robot Master that is weak to it an absolute pain in the ass, but since that was 3 Robot Master stages, we're gonna save that for next time. So, next time on Mega Man 5, we'll deal with the Robot Master that is weak to the Power Stone. I'm gonna have a terrible time because I absolutely hate fighting this Robot Master, both with and without the weakness. So take care, and I'll see you guys next time.